Hello YouTube, Al here, and this week I'm going to be changing the pickups in my mate's Flying V. So this is I don't know what the serial number is, it starts with 19. I'm going to say it's 2019, it probably isn't. This is a Gibson Flying V, all mahogany obviously. It's got Gibson Dirty Fingers pickups, which are very high output pickups. A lot of people complain that they're a bit muddy, and my mate, who hadn't heard the same rumour about them that I had, complained that they were muddy. Also, I've noticed these breaking strings, and this tailpiece is too low because the strings are touching the back edge of the bridge. So I'm actually going to raise the tailpiece when I do this. But so the Dirty Fingers are coming out. Luckily, all the controls are on this scratch plate, so that's going to make figuring out what I'm wiring to where a lot easier. Swapping these out for these. This is a set of Gibson pickups from a 2013 guitar. It's the only year they made these pickups with these horrible black plastic covers. You can see Gibson there. So this is it was advertised as a 490R and 498. Sorry, 490 and 498. So what the bloke meant, I believe, is 498T and 490R. That's the same pickups as in my Les Paul Custom. Same pickups, same pickups as my LPJ, and the same pickups that came in Les Paul Customs in the 1970s. The difference in construction being the tags on the side are connected to the covers, so it's not the same as a normal base plate. And I suppose the wire is probably a bit cheaper. But these are 4-wire. I did not know that, and I'm really surprised they're 4-wire. Now, I wasn't sure how to wire these up, so I asked on an online group, and they said, so obviously green and white, they're already tied off together, so I'm going to leave them as is. The bare is always going to go to ground. Always, and that's always the top of a pot, usually the volume pot. So the red's the hot apparently, and the black wire, which has been annoyingly snipped off a little bit, is you can see the black wire. Yeah, that's also a ground. So the bare and the black will both go to the top of the volume pot. These are going to be off, just tied off with a bit of tape so they don't touch anything else. And this is going to go to the hot. So I've got the 498T and the 490R. I believe these are the ones from the Les Paul, unless, because the bloke got them second hand, it's possible they're the ones from the SG version from 2013. And I've never tried that guitar, but I really like the look of it, and I do still want to get one at one point. At some point, I've told myself I will get one. But anyway, for today, we're going to take out the Dirty Fingers and replace them with these. So I'm going to do a couple of quick sounds with the Flying V as is, and then I'm going to show you how to do it. And I'm going to see if I can do it without removing the strings either, just by slacking it off and then taking the studs out of the tailpiece and moving it out of the way, because that seems to be a way of saving the strings. So let's get to a quick sound test of how it sounds with the Dirty Fingers. Okay, so I just tuned it up. I haven't even turned anything on yet. So, it's all in tune. Okay, here we go. Just going through my custom 212, sort of Fender-ish voice stamp. You know what, let's go on a start clean. Oof, Jesus. This is clean. So the next less spiky. so brash. So the neck's way quieter. Because I raised the pole pieces on the bridge pickup on the treble coil, trying to get some more high end out of it for him. But it's still very, it's still high output, really high output. I mean, the bridge pickup's louder, so it is a bit closer, but. That's how it should sound. Let's put on my new mystery delay. Here we go. Yeah. Still clean. It's almost like a rattle. That is really high output. It's like the amp's dying. Let's go for a bit of overdrive. Let's go for the Black Star because it's kind of Marshall-ish, and that's what he plays. sort of a Sabbath sort of squeal to it. I think it's because I raised the pole pieces that makes it so nasal and snappy. This is the neck. You know what, I've got to lower this pickup, it's ridiculous. I'm swapping them out anyway. Christ. There we go. It's a bit lower, quite a lot lower. So the neck is still breaking up a bit. You hit it hard, it breaks up quick. It's really high output. And the bridge is still spiky. If I adjust the pole pieces back down, maybe that'll help. Come on. Right. Pole pieces lowered on the treble side. Black Star back on. Very nasal, very honky. I think that's just the character of the pickup. There's not a lot of high end. What high end is there is mids. D&M drive. Sounds alright, really, really honky. It plays really, really nice. Really well. Really, really well. The neck's quite nice. It's a satin neck, but it's gone and is still going. Gloss. Just because of the amount of playtime it's having. I mean, it's a nice guitar. It's very light as well. It's quite well balanced. It's got a leather strap on it, to be fair, but it's well balanced. So... let's go for some BB. Yeah, I'm playing that riff a lot. Ah, come on, you bugger. Line 6 crunch time, which I've recently got, and that sounds pretty good. Digital overdrive pedal. So, do you know what? You can get a good sound out of this, but I know what he means. These are the Dirty Fingers Plus pickups, by the way. They're so high output, you can't really... There's so much compression there, you can't add more compression and more gain. It gets really saturated really quickly. So hopefully, the new pickups I've got for it are a bit... They've still got that anger to them. They're still pretty high output for Gibson pickups, but they're more in a PAF sort of realm. So hopefully they're a bit airy, a bit more open, a bit more high end, a bit less saturated, a bit less compressed. So hopefully this should be fairly straightforward. Again, the internet said that Blackwire and the bare wire are both ground, so they're going to be together, soldered together, and then soldered to ground. The green and white are already soldered together, so I'm just going to tape them off. You don't need them because I'm not using a coil split. And the red wire will be the one that's left, the hot wire, which goes to one of the 3 lugs on the pot. So, enough of my talking absolute rubbish at you. You've heard roughly how this guitar sounds. And I'm going to play it again, roughly, in a minute. So, let's first change these pickups. So let's see me doing that now. Okay then, I've slackened the strings off and I've slightly raised the tailpiece either side just to raise the angle over the bridge a bit. So now I'm going to use my screwdriver and we're going to take the scratch plate off and we'll see how these are wired up. So see you in a second. Okay, ooh, trying to get the camera to settle. Come on. There we go. Right, so I've taken the studs out and I've, slackened off all the strings, like, totally. And undo these bit by bit, so you can take all the strings off, and they're here. I can put them back at the end, thinking ahead. I've got the pick guard with the stuff off here, which I can't quite fit in shot because I've had to balance my camera. I've taken a photo of that. I'm now gonna undo the pickups. Let's start with the, doesn't really matter. Let's start with the, screw it, doesn't matter. Start with the bridge pickup then. So I need to trace which wires are which, because they're both 2-wire and they're both shielded wire. And the neck pickup wire has to go through the bridge pickup cavity. So I need to take them both out. And when you install them, you have to put the neck in first. Remember that, because I've done that before. Remember, you've got to put the neck in first when it's going through. And I'm going to say out loud what I'm connecting to what when I wire everything up. So the plan is to take these pickups out, and I will trace the wire, and then I will desolder the shielding from the you know, solder joints and all that. Desolder everything. Pull that one. Ah, here we go. Okay, so this one here is the bridge, and the other one's the neck. That's good to remember. That's good to know. I love the smell of nitrocellulose. I really do. Nitrocellulose guitars smell fantastic. Right, so apart from... Oh, hello. Okay. Really simple then. So we've got this is basically acting as the bare wire. So on... as on these pickups, you've got bare wire here, which goes to the ground. On these pickups, we have this shielding on the outside, which is the bare. It does the same job. So the ground goes to the top of the volume pot, and then the one other wire goes to the switch, and that's it. So the green and white are already together, we'll leave them alone. The black and the bare here are the grounds, so they both go to the ground, and the red is what goes to the switch. I may have to trim this, slice down this grey so I can get the wires to stretch, but anyway, that's the way it's going. I can now see the way everything else is wired up, so come on, I'm going to do a zoom in when I edit this. Hopefully you can see the switch. You have one connection there, and you have one connection there. So the one on the left, as I'm looking at it now, is the neck pickup. And of course, the bare still goes to the top of the volume pot. And the one on the right is the one underneath, if I can move that. The one underneath, that's the bridge pickup. So neck and then bridge, and both the grounds go to there. So it's going to be pretty simple to wire up. There's no trickery going on. There's no coil splits or phase or blow switch or anything like that. Any nonsense like that. Okay, I've done a pop test. Just tuned it up and put the strings back on and just tuned it up again. So same thing as last time, clean amp, let's see how it sounds. The pickups are quiet, or the bridge is quiet, so I need to raise that in its housing. I have to admit, I think this looks a lot better with the plastic covers on. Come on. Right. Let's see if they're the same volume. Let's raise this a bit more, shall we? So, I think it's less loud than the old pickups. These strings are really old. Come on. But I'm trying to get away with the old ones for science. Come on. It's a lot more high end. So, I just want to see if it does the Steve Jones thing, because he did use a V on the album. Bloody wire was on, that's why it sounded weird. Take the low end down a bit. You have to forgive the strings going out of tune all the time. They really need replacing. Come on. Yeah, that's great. So these are the same pickups that Jonesy would have had in his Les Paul Custom. do the Damned on completely clean, complete clean. No breakup whatsoever. Let's do the line 6, crunch tone. D and M drive. I've got to turn the tone down a bit. It's a bit too nasal. Thought I heard something move. Feel like maybe a little bit more in the bridge, just a little bit more. Trying to get the outputs about the same. Yeah. I don't think it is out of phase, I think it's fine. I'd know if it was out of phase, it would be noticeable. don't think it is out of phase. I think I'd know. So, anyway. Just black start, straight into the straight, clean out. Way too thick to be out of phase. Cool. I thought so. I wired them both up the same with the collars. Let's go for a distortion. This is a £13 distortion pedal by Coco. Sounds a lot more Gibson-y, don't you think? You know, I'm trying to think of all the Gibson-y sounds one could go for. Let's see. Sorry, it's a hot day and my hands are sweating buckets. Trying to play it differently because legal. lot of girth to it, but there you go. So there you have it. That's a look at my mate's Flying V. It did have Dirty Fingers, plus pickups. Now it's got the 498T and the 490R. The same as what came in Les Paul Customs in the 70s, same as are in my LPJ. I also quite significantly actually, I raised the tailpiece because this brake angle of the string over the bridge wasn't enough and it was touching the back end. So I've raised that a bit, so that should hopefully relieve the pressure in the saddle and keep things stop the strings from snapping. So there you have it. It's a blacked out Flying V. Thanks for watching. My name's Al. You can give me a like and subscribe if you like. No hard feelings if you don't. Leave any questions down in the comments and I'll try to get to them. One problem I did have with this is because the pickups came out of a Les Paul and the way this is so far away, when I wired the pickups to the switch, I had to take the switch out of the scratch plate and move it closer and then solder it, and then had to turn the scratch plate over to sort of get the switch back through. So you know it's very, very tight in here, but it all worked out fine. It all works fine. I don't have a problem with any of it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Until then, bye bye.
Bye.